Hello guys sa mga kapwa ko minimum wager dyan. Hello! At ngayon, mag-react tayo dito sa Vice Ganda. Kay Vice Ganda at yung joke niya. Panoorin natin! At ayun, naghang na ang aking PC. Napakadami yan guys, oh. So, ano ba ang masasabi ng ating mahiwagang bolang kristal dito? Teka lang. Ang sabi dito, it's not a joke anymore. Everyone deserves respect. Okay, tignan nga muna natin. Ano bang masasabi ng ating mahiwagang bolang kristal? So, ito muna, alamin natin. Kasi yun daw, magkakaso daw sila, mga ganon. Alamin muna natin. So, alamin muna natin. At ipabasa muna natin. Basa. Bolang kristal.
As of my latest knowledge, Vice Ganda's joke about Duterte Jet 2 during its Showtime episode has sparked controversy, with some groups threatening legal action. However, whether a lawsuit would succeed depends on several legal factors. 1. Freedom of speech and artistic expression. The Philippine Constitution protects freedom of speech, including satire and comedy. Courts generally uphold this right unless the speech incites violence, constitutes libel, or involves grave threats. 2. Potential legal grounds for a lawsuit. If someone files a case, possible claims could include libel. If the joke was deemed malicious and damaged someone's reputation. Cyber libel. If the joke was widely shared online with harmful intent. Unlawful use of means of publication. If authorities argue the joke caused public alarm. However, comedy is often given leeway, and Vice Ganda could argue that the joke was hyperbolic satire, not a factual accusation. 3. Political climate and public figures. Public figures have less protection against criticism under libel laws. Courts may dismiss cases seen as attempts to suppress free speech. For possible outcomes. Case dismissal. If the court finds the joke falls under protected speech. Fines or apology, if deemed excessive but not criminal. Rare conviction, only if malice is proven beyond satire. Conclusion. While legal action is possible, a successful lawsuit is unlikely unless prosecutors can prove actual malice or direct harm. Most likely, this will remain a public debate rather than a legal battle.
Oh, ayun na lang. Pero medyo late na to kasi wala naman daw silang gagawin eh. Ano na daw, kasi nagsumbong na sila sa mayor nila, yung mayor nila. So, wag na lang daw pansinin ang mga cloud chaser, sabi. Pero ano bang masasabi ng ating mahiwagang bolang kristal sa mga apektado at mga fanboys o ang tawag natin sa kanila o sikat nga sila sa bilang DDS. Ano ba ang masasabi ng ating bolang kristal? Bolang kristal number 1, ang tanongin natin uli.
The DDS and Duterte fans are known for their fierce loyalty to former President Rodrigo Duterte and his political legacy. Their behavior, rhetoric, and influence in Philippine politics are worth analyzing from multiple angles. 1. Who are DDS Duterte fans? Core supporters. Mostly working-class Filipinos, social conservatives, and anti-establishment voters who admire Duterte's strongman image, anti-drug war, and anti-elite rhetoric.
Working class din sila katulad ko. Mga minimum wager din ba sila na katulad ko? Hello guys, mga minimum wager. Pero hindi pala ako DDS kahit working class ako.
Core supporters. Mostly working-class Filipinos, social conservatives, and anti-establishment voters who admire Duterte's strongman image, anti-drug war, and anti-elite rhetoric. Online presence. Highly active on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, often engaging in pro-Duterte propaganda and attacking critics. DDS connection. Some hardcore supporters embrace the term DDS as a badge of loyalty, despite its links to extrajudicial killings during Duterte's time as Davao mayor. 2. Why are they so loyal? Perceived political strength. Duterte's tough-on-crime stance resonated with many frustrated with traditional politics. Anti-oligarch rhetoric. His attacks on the Lopez's ABS-CBN and Dilawan fueled populist support. Social media echo chambers. Algorithms favor pro-Duterte content, reinforcing their beliefs. Distrust of mainstream media. Many believe only Duterte and his allies tell the truth. 3. Controversial behaviors. Online harassment. Critics often face bullying, doxing, and death threats from Duterte fans. Blind loyalty. Many defend EJK's, Marcos alliance, and China-friendly policies despite contradictions. Conspiracy theories. Some believe in NPA infiltration, yellow stealing funds, or foreign destabilization. For are they still influential? Yes, but declining. With Duterte out of power and his alliance with Marcos Jr. crumbling, their influence has weakened. Still a vocal minority. They dominate certain online spaces and remain a political force, especially in Davao and Mindanao. 2025 and 2028 elections.
So ayun nga, 1 million daw yung nawala kay Vice na subscribers. Pero hindi naman 1 million pala. Yun lang. Pero kung 1 million mawawala kay Vice, at least 1 million lang, hindi 20 million. Yung mga, wag na, yung mga,
2025 and 2028 elections. If Sara Duterte runs for president, expect a massive DDS resurgence. 5. How should critics engage them? Avoid online fights. Many operate in bad faith. Debates often go nowhere. Fact-based arguments. Use data instead of emotional appeals. Appeal to disillusioned supporters. Some former DDS now criticize Duterte over PH China issues or Marcos betrayal. Final thought. Duterte fans DDS are a polarizing but politically significant group. Their loyalty stems from populist appeal, distrust in institutions, and effective propaganda. While their power has diminished post-Duterte, they remain a force that could resurge in future elections. Would you like a deeper dive into their propaganda tactics or comparisons with Bongbong Marcos supporters?
so yun nga guys, ito si Vice. Pagkakaalala ko, pre-nomote niya rin si Duterte noon. So, pre-nomote niya si Duterte noon. Yun lang. Yun lang talaga. Bakit niya pre-promote? O in-endorse? So, lipat tayo sa pangalawang bolang kristal. Ito medyo play safe ang bolang kristal natin dito. Ayun lang guys, ayaw niya na magbasa.
DDS in the context of Philippine politics refers to die-hard Duterte supporters, and criticisms of this group are extensive. These criticisms are not just about political disagreement but focus on the negative impacts on democracy, human rights, and the quality of public discourse. Here are some of the key criticisms leveled against DDS: hostility and online harassment. DDS are widely criticized for creating a toxic online environment. They are known for their aggressive and often vitriolic attacks on anyone who criticizes former President Rodrigo Duterte. This can include journalists, political opponents, artists, and ordinary citizens. This behavior, often involving name-calling, insults, and even threats of violence, is seen as a way to silence dissent and discourage critical thinking. Propaganda and disinformation. A major point of criticism is the DDS's role in spreading misinformation and disinformation. While some of their activities are genuine grassroots support, they are often accused of being part of a larger troll army or network of paid influencers. These groups reportedly use tactics like political framing, where they filter and recycle information to match a political objective, blurring the lines between fact and falsehood. This erodes media literacy and makes it difficult for the public to make informed decisions. Blind loyalty and anti-intellectualism. Critics argue that DDS exhibit a cult-like devotion to Duterte, which prevents them from holding him accountable. They are accused of tolerating human rights violations and other questionable actions, rationalizing them as tough love or necessary to address crime and corruption. This uncritical support is seen as a form of anti-intellectualism, where emotional investment in a leader trumps critical analysis and evidence-based reasoning. This mindset is seen as a threat to a healthy democracy, which requires an engaged and critical citizenry. Undermining of democratic institutions. The DDS movement has been criticized for actively contributing to the erosion of democratic institutions. Their attacks on journalists and media outlets that reported critically on Duterte's administration are seen as a direct assault on press freedom. They also tend to mirror Duterte's own challenges to institutions like the judiciary, the International Criminal Court, and the Catholic Church, which are meant to serve as checks and balances on presidential power. This behavior normalizes the disregard for the rule of law. Intensifying political polarization. The DDS have been a major force in the deep political polarization of the Philippines. The political divide has often become a binary of pro-Duterte versus anti-Duterte, with little room for nuance or common ground. This has made civil discourse nearly impossible and has led to fractured relationships, even within families and among friends, as political loyalty became a more important factor than shared values or respectful disagreement.
Ayun guys, ang sinabi na ating pangalawang bolang kristal. At ito naman ang ating favorite na bolang kristal. At ito yung pinakamalakas na bolang kristal ngayon. Bolang kristal? Ano nangyari sa bolang kristal? Bolang kristal! Ano nangyari sa'yo? Isipin mo guys kung ginagamit mo to sa interview. Diba? Hindi ka talaga makakasagot kasi, ayan oh, hindi na siya gumagana. Eh, ni-refresh ko si mahiwagang bolang kristal. Ang paborito kong bolang kristal. Bakit nga ba ako gumagamit nitong bolang kristal? Wala lang kasi si bolang kristal, alam niyo naman, nagre-research na siya. At based na sa facts.
People used for people who strongly support former President Rodrigo Duterte and often his policies or political allies. Here's a breakdown of what can be said about the group, both from supporters and critics' perspectives. Hashtag is why they support Duterte. 1. Tough on crime image. Many DDS supporters admire his war on drugs campaign, believing it brought discipline and reduced crime. 2. Straightforward communication. They like his unfiltered, masa, common people style of speaking, which feels relatable compared to traditional politicians. 3. Perceived anti-elitism. Duterte presented himself as outside the Manila elite, appealing to those who feel neglected by traditional politics. 4. Infrastructure projects. His administration's Build, Build, Build program was widely promoted as a sign of progress. Criticisms against DDS and Duterte's leadership. 1. Human rights concerns. The drug war drew global criticism for alleged extrajudicial killings and abuses. 2. Toxic online behavior. Some DDS accounts have been linked to coordinated online harassment or disinformation campaigns. 3. Blind loyalty. Critics say some DDS members defend Duterte regardless of evidence or policy failures. 4. Polarization. The strong pro or anti stance has deepened political division in the Philippines. Cultural and political impact. DDS has become more than a fan group. It's a political brand that continues to influence elections and public debates. Even after Duterte's presidency, many DDS members shifted support to his daughter, VP Sara Duterte, or to allies like Bongbong Marcos Jr. The term DDS can be worn as a badge of pride by supporters, but as an insult by critics. If you want, I can also make a clear pros and cons table of DDS so it's easier to understand the divide between supporters and critics. Would you like me to do that?
No, tama na. Pero, wag natin tigilan.
Here's a critical take on DDS, diehard Duterte supporters, focusing on the issues and problematic aspects often pointed out by analysts, journalists, and political observers. Main criticisms of DDS. 1. Blind loyalty. Over accountability. Many DDS members defend Duterte and his allies no matter what, ignoring evidence of corruption, abuse of power, or policy failures. This cult of personality politics discourages critical thinking and honest discussion. 2. Toxic online behavior. DDS has been associated with troll armies, cyberbullying, and coordinated harassment of journalists, activists, and political opponents. Disinformation networks supporting DDS narratives have been documented by fact-checking groups. 3. Glorification of violence. Some DDS rhetoric frames the war on drugs killings as acceptable or even admirable, disregarding due process and human rights. This normalizes extrajudicial actions as a legitimate government tool. 4. Disregard for democratic norms. By prioritizing loyalty to Duterte over institutions, DDS behavior sometimes undermines checks and balances in government. They often attack media and opposition voices rather than engaging in constructive debate. 5. Polarization and division. DDS versus Dilawan, anti-Duterte opposition, mentality has deepened political divides, making compromise and unity harder. Political discussions become tribal wars instead of issue-based debates. 6. Selective outrage. Quick to condemn corruption or abuses in opponents, but silent when the same issues happen under Duterte or his allies. Creates a double standard in governance accountability. If you want, I can also make a short, hard-hitting summary of this criticism that could fit as a social media post or commentary piece. That way, it's ready for public discussion without being overly long. Would you like me to prepare that?
No, ayoko na. guys, kayo, ano masasabi nyo dito? Ayan, binigay ko na sa inyo yung opinion ng ating maiwagang bolang kristal, AI, dito tungkol sa mga DDS na apektado dito sa joke ni Vice Ganda. So, bye-bye na! Yun na lang!